Coach, whenever you are comfortable, you can go ahead.
Special team win for the Mountaineers. The last 2 days have been incredibly exciting. We had a walk-off win, and then this was about as tight as a game on the road as you can against a regional host. We had so many great individual performances, so many people coming together to make that game possible. Started off really great on offense. We ended up trailing in the game by the 7th inning and then came back and put together a really nice 9th inning. But everybody just stayed connected. Everybody worked really hard together. We had so many, like I said, just great individual performances, and we were able to hand the ball to the next guy, and people came up huge. So very excited for the team. Obviously one win away from winning a regional, and I guess this is the first time in program history that we've been to back-to-back regional finals.
All right, do we have any questions? Please raise your hand. We'll start here at the front.
Sam, RBI single with Canuck, then you get that big double up on Malstead. Those are two pitchers that have just been really tough for opposing hitters. Can you talk into your approach there?
Just trying to keep it simple, see ball, hit ball, honestly. Those are kind of the opportunities you look for as a player. Best on best stuff, and just trying to go out and win each pitch.
Let's go back to the cameras.
Kevin Kendall, Blue and Gold News. Coach Sabins, you mentioned the environment a little bit. You've obviously enjoyed that at home when you've been able to play at home. Difficult to play here when the other team gets it rolling, but is there anything that you try to use that as a positive for your team to say, hey, isn't this fun, isn't this great, that kind of thing?
We didn't address it just because I think the more you talk about it, the more it can manifest into something. All these guys came to West Virginia to play in the biggest games, in the biggest crowds, with the best venues in the country. So most of them, their games elevated in these kind of environments. So don't really talk about it. Today, we faced some of the best pitching in the country. We had 15 hits and 9 runs, and we had guys step up and play really, really well. So both these guys, they love the energy, they love the atmosphere, they want the ball in the big moment. And so didn't address it at all. I think for me, it's when you play 60 games, it's a long season. I think there's really nice to have some pockets of this juice and energy, and obviously the postseason provides that.
Stay here in the front.
You're talking about that juice and energy, Coach, and I'm watching you kind of walk around the field very calmly. And I wonder if that's something that you're doing. And going off that too, Chase and Sam, but is that something that you do to kind of help keep your team calm? And then going off that, do you guys feed off that in the sense that it does help kind of keep you calm, cool, and collected?
I'm not sure. It's not a tactic or a strategy necessarily. I think I'm thinking through the game, and I'm thinking through situations and pitchers. And so normally in those hostile environments or those bigger moments, it sounds like I'm calmer.
I know you're just as juiced up as everybody else in the field. I know you're just as juiced up.
But I think in general, I've been through it more often. I've seen more big games, and so these guys want it so bad for themselves and the team. So if the staff can remain relatively calm and stay within themselves, I think it helps the players.
Does it help you guys as well, kind of stay grounded a little bit?
I would say, yeah. Just seeing your leader kind of freak out, if he ever did, kind of would put a team a little on edge. Thankfully, he's always calm and collected and teaches us to be the same as him.
All right, let's stay in the front right here, and then we'll go back over here.
Nick also with the new post. Is Jace going to be a good one? I saw that he exited the game early, 6th inning.
Yep, Jace is good. We had some different lineup options going on, and so we ended up just, when we had the lead, it was 4-0, and that slipped away relatively quickly. But we put our best defensive option at first base in Grant Hussey. Lumsden was already in the game. Lumsden's probably our best right field option other than Guzman. So Lumsden went to right field, and so we were just playing some defensive replacements to try to play the best defense when you're up in the game late.
Stay in the front row.
Steve, obviously, it went back and forth late, but I don't think you should be lost what Jack did for you guys on the mound to start today. Can you talk about kind of how I know he was a kind of late start with injury last year and kind of building him up this year, but what did you see from him and how big was that?
That was awesome. Jack always gives you everything that he possibly has. And so he was a kid that we recruited from Kent State that pitched a lot for them in a lot of different roles. We knew he had to have surgery this summer before committing. So it's not usually in the team's best interest to recruit a bunch of guys that need surgery. But we had some connections, and we knew Jack from high school. And at the end of the day, he was an older player with experience, with a plus makeup and mentality. And so we felt very comfortable that he would get back to his best version, whatever that would be. I believe that he was team-oriented, which is a fact. I kind of later learned that he was pitching through excruciating pain all last season. So he was a mess. His arm was a mess, and he basically finished the entire season through a ton of pain. So a guy like that in college baseball that can get healthy, this is what can come from that. And so went 5.1 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk. If we would have lost today, I would have been absolutely roasted for pulling Jack Kartsonas after however many pitches. There's a trust that's required in your bullpen. And so I thought that Kartsonas was the best option today. But we're going to need every pitcher that we put in the game if we want to make the run that we really want to make. And so that's why I felt comfortable doing that. But I do think that Jack probably could have thrown another 20, 30 pitches today.
All right, we got time for a couple more. We'll go to Phil in the back and then to the cameras to wrap it up.
Phil Kornblum, Sports Talk Media Network here in South Carolina. Just one from players and one for you, Coach. For players, you have a preference who you'd like to play tomorrow night?
Doesn't matter to me. I think no matter what game it is, it's going to be a super competitive one.
That's a trap question. Don't answer that.
And for you, just wondering, Randy Mazie was a great here at Clemson. He had much to say to you before you guys left?
That guy. That dude's standing right over there. Yeah, we talk on a regular basis. He always gives us rundowns. This was so fun for me because I know that this place and this tradition means so much to Randy. And so Randy got his opportunity to be a head coach 15 years ago and build a program, and a lot of things that he learned translated, obviously, and went to what has gone on at West Virginia. So these programs are more intertwined than people really know or give it credit for. And so much of what I have learned has come from Coach Mazie. And so baseball is one of those beautiful things where people pass down information and they pass down how to play and compete. And so this is certainly, I don't want to speak for Randy. He's an emotional guy. He'll get crying here, but it's full circle. It's full circle. He got an opportunity when he was a young kid from Pennsylvania to come down here and play and represent Clemson, and that's kind of started his whole career.
All right, we'll wrap things up in the back.
Jason, I agree with you, y'all, emotion in the environment a lot. When you get one strike away, as you were a couple times, do you have to try to tamp that down a little bit? Did that kind of come bubbling up tonight?
No, not really. I kind of just, no matter what, it's just a pitch at the end of the day, and I'm going to keep and bring the same intensity every single pitch, no matter if it's the first pitch of the game or the last one. But, at the end there, I just kind of lost my edge and tried to place a ball when the whole time I was just throwing it as hard as I could, and it was going down the middle. So, yeah.
And then the feeling when you give the ball up, though, that you see your teammate finish it out?
I think a good thing about this group is no matter what, we all want to do well for each other. I came in bases loaded, and I know that if I give up a hit, not only does the momentum shift, but I also just gave up some runs for my teammate whose back I'm supposed to have. So Dougal coming in, trust Sabes completely, and he's going to make the decision that's going to help us to win, and he got the job done.
All right, congratulations, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.